Hey, it's Carrie from Wrap Your Head Around Silks. This is the Expecting Your Oils podcast, now with the Digital Network. How's it going, guys? Thank you so much for tuning in. Before we get started, lots of things always happening with Wrap Your Head Around Silks. Roll it out. We meet every Tuesday and Thursday, 7 p.m. Pacific, to foam roll our aerial problems away. This has changed my practice so much. I am no longer in chronic pain. I figured out a way to maintain my aerial body. I would love to see you. We do Zoom, we gossip, we chat. I'm able to focus in on your problems because it's still a pretty small class, and I'd love to have you there. Please go to the show notes to sign up. And if you wanted to do any of the other resources that I have on my website, I have a full comprehensive beginner to intermediate silks course, especially if you're kind of out there teaching yourself on a home rig or something like that. A lot of guidance for you guys. 12 modules. It touches everything. So that might be great for you. Also, we have aerial rehab, which is for postpartum, post-injury, post-surgery, meant to be the bridge between PT and your favorite aerial class. So check that out. Of course, I have a free mini course if you want to just get to know my style. JB, what I wanted to ask you about is I Love Climbs.
So I Love Climbs is an Instagram account I started. I guess maybe it's been 2 years. I've always loved climbs on vertical, tissue rope braids. I do a lot of stuff on braids. So I was teaching a workshop and judging a competition for kids in another country, and I realized during this competition I was watching like 80 acts and these incredible performers that their age range, I can't even remember. I don't know, maybe like from 8 to 18 or something like that. They were really just really talented people. And these acts, I saw 80 acts, they really didn't climb. Like they didn't vary their climbs. There was a handful of climbs that I saw, and that stood out to me. And I was just thinking about, how much climbs get focused on. And I don't really know. Just in my own taking my own classes and just the climbs that I'm exposed to. I just started to think that was an area that these people in particular, I felt like would benefit from learning more of. Well, okay, so there were two things. One was just the massive amount of climbs that are possible, how they're taught, how much they're taught, how many different kinds of, how that's explored, climbing, versus drops and sequences and different things like that. But, and then the other thing that I was thinking about were how there's a lot of libraries of skills, and how when I see these skill libraries, they're often the person whose library it is, or whatever company who's created their library. Because now there's, quite a lot of people, selling their libraries. I was just thinking about how they're showing, themselves, or whoever it is doing all these skills, and how it's sometimes really nice to see different people doing their takes on the same thing. So my idea to start I Love Climbs was about showcasing, I don't actually know if showcasing is the right word for this, but showing different aerialists doing the same climb, I guess, is like how it started in the simplest way. It started like, okay, let's have, I'll find 5 different people doing a Russian bicycle climb and put them together. And so I Love Climbs is just an account of, a bazillion different aerialists, and the aerialists that I can find on Instagram now. A lot of people are sending me their own things and tagging I Love Climbs, but I've looked for climbs, and then I do a lot of the climbs myself, and so I mean there is a fair amount of me in there, but it's definitely heavy on not me, and it's become more like scientific. Because it's not just like the same climb posted 5 times, but it's like how the climbs relate to each other. And yeah, I feel like it's pretty successful experiment. And I really love connecting the people to each other. I really love being able to, post other people and have other people seeing other people that they might not have seen. And I think that people get a lot out of like seeing different bodies, different styles, and just different ideas. And then just the sharing part. I think the aerialists, for the 5 years that I've been on Instagram, it seems like a really nice community of sharers. I mean, I'm on a couple arborist accounts, but I don't really know if other
arborists are sharing the same way.
Well, like other, I don't like disciplines or other, communities of a craft. I don't know how those people share and exchange with each other, but I really only have Instagram for the aerialist experience, but I find it really cool how supportive and how much people are willing to share, and how, people do tend to credit one another pretty nice. I mean, I see it a lot. People are very willing and very happy to credit one another. I'm sure there's also the opposite. People are also, not crediting one another. I'm sure that happens, but my eyes are on the people crediting one another, and that's really pretty cool. So yeah, I Love Climbs it was an idea just because I felt like, inspired by this one, super talented group of kids that I felt like could benefit from more climb training than just the idea of being able to show off other people to each other that might not get seen. So it's a place that I get to, expose different people to each other.
I didn't know you, and I'm one of those people who was interacting with you.
Yes, I shared one of your climbs. Yeah, and at first I was asking everybody because I was very uncomfortable with just reposting somebody. I don't know Instagram etiquette, and it just I really just was uncomfortable to get it wrong. I was very conservative in how I did it. Because I just was afraid to mess up and end up being an asshole. Now, I don't ask anymore. I mean, it was a lot of work to ask permission from everybody, and that was really, really hard. But so I don't ask anymore. I repost because I guess I've learned that that's ultimately a good thing, and that's what people want, I guess. Most of them. I do also put the year that the video was made, because I think that's also important, because I'm showing some of the stuff I'm showing is really old. And I know, like, if I was to do a video, put up a video of myself 5 years ago doing a climb, I just started doing. And then, now it's better now, it's improved. But there's some value in seeing the progress as well. So I always put a year, just so that, it doesn't make anyone, feel like, oh, I can do it much better now, or I don't like that old video, because I do like the idea of, celebrating the growth. And what I'd like to do with it is I'd like to be doing climbing workshops. And I'm just slow at getting these ideas going. But they will happen eventually.
With this podcast, what it has done in my life is it has exploded my aerial community outwards. Does it feel that way to you with your Instagram, I Love Climbs?
Yes. Oh, for sure. Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. I had a pretty small aerial community. I had a very small bubble. Instagram definitely made it bigger. And I also was able to connect more with the people I already knew. So it was helpful in that way for me. With I Love Climbs, I just really love that I've been building these relationships with people. I mean, there's a handful of people, or a couple handfuls of people that talk to me a lot and think of me when they see somebody else's climb. I'm getting a lot of help from everybody else to fill it and make it richer. I do also really love the research, and really just connecting climbs to each other. And I've thinking of themes and how do these climbs relate in kind of obvious or less obvious ways. I really, really enjoy that a lot. I do want to do more with it, like teaching workshops, and I have some ideas about how it could be used in kind of like a database sort of way. And I'm really, really, really happy how much it seems to be liked by the aerial community. But yeah, I was definitely concerned in the beginning, is this, I want to say profiting. I'm not making a dollar, but am I profiting over other people's work? You go in and work on, creating a climb, and I post it. It does help you get seen, but what did I do? So that stuff kind of makes me uncomfortable. So this idea of a database, I do that stuff for my own benefit, so that I can find climbs and make it easier to organize it for myself. But I've thought about how I could offer that to other people as well, but then I'd be profiting from it. And it's the majority of the climbs are not mine. They're not my videos. So that stuff is weird to me. And I don't really know how to handle that stuff. I don't even know who to talk to about how to handle that stuff. And I'm just not comfortable with just doing the wrong thing. So I just try to avoid making a mistake.
I'll say it again. I think you're the anti-asshole for even I think the fact that you're even looking at it from that perspective and you're taking these things to heart means that the authenticity of it will shine through. Because would you like my perspective on this?
Sure, yes.
Number one, I believe, and I've always believed, that once you put it out there, either live or online, it's out for the world. You've given it away. That's how I see it. I know that there are some rules around equity. For example, you're not going to see a full video unless they've done it for that reason of any Broadway show out there. There's copywriting, there's all that. But if you're putting it on Instagram, to me, you've given it to the world. I don't think that at this point in 2024, there is very few things that are 100% original anymore. And if they are, it's like really, really crazy, because it's inspired by either subconsciously or consciously by something that you've seen. And no one anymore, maybe 20 years ago, but no one anymore is in a vacuum, because we're seeing things. So even if you don't like outright copy something, you are being influenced. Again, Erica Lentz, this interview that I did with her a while back, when she and her aerial partner created the first straps duo for Ka, in some ways it was, in all ways, I think, fully, truly original, because they locked themselves in a room and they came up with it. And they didn't really have I think they would have liked to look at videos of other people, but they didn't exist. They didn't have access to it, so they had no choice but to do that. And so that is truly original. They were not influenced by anybody else. Maybe the people in their space with them, maybe the other artists at Cirque du Soleil at the time. But to me, that doesn't exist anymore. And I, for one, if you pick up one of my climbs and share it, since my goal is to touch more people, I'm excited anybody shares any of my stuff, because if it's original to me or not. The 100 monkeys theory, I don't know if everybody calls it that. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
The aerialist Maya from LA, she's the first one who told me that. She's like, the 100 monkeys. You have 100 monkeys out in the world making up their own stuff by themselves. And then at least a handful of them would have created the same thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's also happens. That's also things that I see, where people, really think that they've created something, and then I find somebody who really thinks they've created something, and yes, and they both are right.
They're both 100% right. Yes.
I like that stuff. I like seeing what people do with the same stuff. Ultimately, I do want to be able to make money exploring the climbs and teaching the climbs. So I just want to be able to do it in a way that doesn't make me uncomfortable with how I got there.
I teach a lot of beginner and intermediates, not necessarily advanced. I can, obviously, but my regular classes I end up. And what I do is I say, this climb was originally, I learned from Rain Anya. It was called the Rain Climb. So I'll credit a lot in class, or I'll say I first shared this from, Sarah Romnofsky, but I also know that she, except for a couple things, she got it from somebody else necessarily, she created some of it, and then she didn't create the other things. So I like doing that. And then I also have an in-class joke that I do all the time. And I'm like, what the fuck do I have to do to get a climb named after me? This bitch Rain, hi Rain, if you're listening. Rain Anya. So I have that joke because now, because of the massive sharing that's been going on for many years, it's like the question mark to me is anything truly original? So, dude, I love this geek out. I had no idea what was going to happen, and this ship went where it went, and I'm happy about it. It's great.
We didn't talk about my amazing pregnancy while climbing.
Please tell us that story before we go. And then, this podcast will not be as long as we've been talking because there were so many editing issues.
Nobody would listen to it.
Oh, that's not true.
No, it's been great talking to you for sure. I loved being pregnant. And I didn't stop training, and I didn't have any problems. And
well, how old were you though?
There's my
when
story.
You were pregnant.
35.
You were 35 when you were pregnant?
Yeah.
How old are you now?
49.
I couldn't do that math. Because your kids are 13 and 17.
14 and 17. Yeah.
I thought to myself, wow, you must have been younger, because the ones who had pregnancies in their 20s, same. Everything was perfect, but you got lucky.
Yeah.
49. When you turn 50? Soon.
On the 19th of October.
Are you like, what's your take on that? I'm going to be there in a couple years.
I don't know. It hasn't happened yet. I'll let you know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a take on it, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
I've been thinking a lot about it, by the way. I'm 47 and a half. And a half. I say that because I've had a half a year to think about being 47, and then my business partner just turned 48, and my partner just turned 48. And so I've been thinking about what I want to do for the actual birthday, because I haven't really celebrated my birthday like in a big way since I was 40.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I want to do something big, but I also kind of am thinking like, not what am I doing at 48, 49, 50, but what do I want to be doing? And what is that answer? Does it match up with what I'm doing now? Mm-hmm. Because I want it to match.
I see. I don't think like that.
No, please do tell.
I'm
a planner.
I don't have anything to tell.
JB, I'm a planner. I'm a Chinese girl. I can't help it.
Which I mean, I think that's great. And I think I could benefit from planning and thinking in those ways, at least sometimes.
It's also stress inducing, you know what I'm saying?
It is. So, I mean, I used to kind of proudly be like anti-goal.
I've never heard that said before.
I mean, there's a lot of goal stuff, and it's just a lot. And so I used to kind of just like maybe sort of rebelliously, but also just because it kind of takes the pressure off a bit. And I didn't really need a goal to progress. So, but I do see that some people do need that. And then also the value in just setting a goal and like making a plan in order to progress is also valuable. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a lot of thoughts about the age, other than I feel like when I started, everyone was really young, and now they're not. And that's so weird. Like, like I started with Tanya, and she was this baby, and I was, she was my young coach. And then through the years, like all my young people are not young.
I'll have to tell her today. I'll be like, newsflash, T, you are no longer young. What are your thoughts?
It's a little bit like when you're 10 and your friends are 19 or 18, and that's a huge age gap. And then suddenly, you're 20 and they're 28, and that's not such a huge age gap, or 30 and 38, whatever. But yeah, so everybody is growing up or has grown up.
What just happened in my dance world, because the dance world in LA and the aerial world are actually quite separate, except for a couple people that cross over. They just had a big dancer reunion. And I don't live there right now, so I did not go. But had I lived there, I would have gone. And I was scrolling through the pictures that people posted, and I had the same thought. I was like, wow, you guys are old.
I know.
Like legitimately. Yeah.
So I'm not looking at myself so much and thinking, man, I'm old. I'm looking at my young friends thinking, man, you guys are not young anymore. So yeah.
Yeah, and then I have a college professor he was my mentor, and he lives here in Texas, and him and his wife I'm very close to. And I don't know how he looks at it, because like when I met him, I was 18. Right?
Yeah.
And he's 80, 81. And now I'm almost 50. I mean, that would make him feel old, right?
I guess. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's really hard to imagine those differences without being that age. Like, really, what must it feel like to be 80?
Yes.
We'll see.
Yes. I mean, if we're lucky enough to get there, for sure.
Yeah.
And then I am introducing myself to a lot of not new to me students, because I just started at the ARAM here in San Antonio. I don't know if do you follow Dara?
Yes.
She's incredible.
Incredible.
Like
yes.
I basically knew I was probably going to move here, and then looked at the aerial studios like, oh, I'm good. Dara lives there. I'm going to be fine.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna be fine. Like, I have people. She'll be my person, and we'll develop people underneath us. And she's already been doing so. She's incredible. But I've been meeting these students, and one of the first things they'll say to me, because I am, Asian no raisin. I don't know what age I look, but I don't look my age. And so they're like, oh, I'm 40. I'm like, oh, great. Okay. They think they're so old coming into this. And I'm like, I mean, no, you're not.
Yeah.
And use your body as much as you can. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I that's my attitude, especially because, I don't know. I see the younger ones and they're so amazing, but the texture and the depth of their quality isn't there yet. And I want to help them develop, and some of them are going to develop that and some of them aren't. It depends.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like not everybody wants that.
Yeah, true.
It's so common now that it's just another thing to do. It's not really like, I don't think people come into it with a goal of anything. I think it's just an activity.
Yeah, sometimes.
Learn some tricks. But then some people want to grow. And
the long-time students I had, and hopefully I'll have that here too, the amount that they take it seriously is almost detrimental to their training. Like I feel like I see both. I see the people who don't care very much and they come in and they're not consistent. And then I see the people who are like, we have a showcase, it's basically a recital, and they're crying. They're stressed. So it's like, I think it's definitely both.
Yeah. No, that was me. So.
All right. You ready to say goodbye?
Yeah, bye.
Okay. Bye. We'll
Bye,
talk later.
Bean. Bye, Carrie.
Okay.
Bye.
JB, I could talk to you forever. Thank you so much for coming on. Listeners, she's available to teach privates. She has a climb club, and she offers training time from her home in Venice, California, where she has outdoor rigs. And she's available to teach workshops if you are a studio owner and you'd love to have her there to teach any climbing workshops. That sounds like fun, right? My friends, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you so much. If you'd like to be in the podcast, just send me a DM or email me, Carrie@wrapyourheadaroundsilks.com. This is for you guys. It's for the worldwide community. So if you have a story that you'd love to share, please reach out. I'd love to have you as a virtual student. So if you go to the show notes, there's links for all of my online resources, free mini course, comprehensive beginner to intermediate, and aero rehab as well. I'd love to have you guys there. And check out Greener Grass. It's the podcast that I do with Kelly McVeigh. And we talk about so many things that you might care about. And then we also just gab. We have so much fun. Please leave me a 5-star rating and review. It makes such a huge difference. So I would appreciate that with all of my heart. And thank you so much for tuning in and listening. Over and out. This is Carrie with Wrap Your Head Around Slugs. This is the Expecting Podcast.
Open up.